This is the April 24, 2023 edition, and I would like to welcome my co-anchor, Dana.
Hi, everyone. Really happy to be here. Great to see you, Dave.
Great to see you. Our top story for tonight comes from me, and it's about coconuts. Crazy. Coconuts are increasingly being used around the world to keep shorelines from eroding. Strands of coconut husk, known as coir, C-O-I-R, can be spun into logs and molded along uneven areas of the shoreline so they can allow plants to take root. An American conservation group is using $1.3 million in restoration funds to fix an eroded riverbank in Neptune, New Jersey, in that kind of messy part of New Jersey, you know, when you go through on the train. Anyway, the organization said the project has already added significantly to the shoreline, which was hit hard by Superstorm Sandy in 2012. How about that? Who knew? Coconut fronds, coconut coir. Oh, and you might have had a doormat made of that growing up, maybe. They still make those.
Wow.
Okay.
That's so nice. Redoing the shoreline.
Yeah. Next, we're going to Anya for a very heartwarming story. I won't tip her hand. I'll let her. No spoilers. Anya, take it away.
Good evening. All right. I have a story about lonely widowed geese that get matched up. And spoiler alert, they haven't left each other's sides since. Pretty sweet. I have to say, you know, when I read this story, to me, it stood out that it's not just about the geese, but it's about the lengths that, you know, the animal guardians are you know, us as humans, when we love our animals, the lengths that we'll go, right, to protect them. So geese, I don't know if you realize, are among the animal species that mate for life, unlike humans in the wild. But what happens when one bird is left without its partner? So that recently happened to Blossom, a goose at Iowa's Riverside Cemetery. You can find them on Facebook if you want to see. I'm going to show you an image, but if you want to see more images and videos, you can find them. Riverside Cemetery in Iowa. This is Blossom and Frankie.
Oh,
Aren't they? They're taking a romantic swim. So General Manager Dory Tamman said that Blossom's behavior changed after the loss of her partner, and she ended up spending more time at the front office. She was lonely. She was frequently seen staring at her reflection in windows and tombstones. So Dory Tamman took it upon herself to write a personal ad for Blossom. And it read, "Lonely widow domestic goose seeks life partner for companionship and occasional shenanigans. Come share life with me at Riverside Cemetery." Pretty sweet. So the ad actually made it in front of a couple, Deb and Randy Hoyt, who live about 50 miles from the cemetery. They run a horse rescue farm, and they had adopted a pair of geese in 2020, and one was tragically killed, likely by an animal. And her male companion, Frankie, spent months searching the grounds for her. So after reading that personal ad, they decided to set up a blind date. And according to Deb, it was love at second sight. So only after about 20 minutes, the pair waddled off together, and you saw them taking that romantic swim. And I just thought that was so touching. I don't know if you both have. Do you both have pets? And would you write a personal ad for one?
Wow.
I had a hamster as a kid, and a dog.
Aw.
But right now, no.
Okay.
No.
It's a really
Too lazy.
creative idea they had to write that personal ad. Thank you, Anya. Now let's go to the science desk with a story from Diane.
Yeah, hi there, Dana. Thank you. It seems that we are moving slowly to the end of the fossil fuel era. There's a new analysis out that shows that wind and solar power produced a record amount of the world's electricity last year, which is great news. The renewables generated 12% of global electricity in 2022, and that's up significantly from just 10% the previous year. And that's according to an analysis by a company called Ember, which is a clean energy think tank. So, according to the report's authors, the findings signal the beginning of the end of the fossil age and entrance into, yay, a clean power era. So if clean power meets all the new demands this year as expected, Ember forecasts a small drop in fossil fuel generation in 2023. We're hoping for that. Larger reductions are set to follow as wind and solar deployment ramp up. Unfortunately, coal is still the single largest source of electricity worldwide. It produces more than a third of all power. On the upside, the very feared return to coal during the global gas crisis never happened. So the authors of this report from Ember are really optimistic. They believe that the stage is set now for wind and solar power to achieve a meteoric rise to the top. And you know, Dana, if that meteoric rise does take place, clean electricity will reshape the entire global economy, from transportation to industry and beyond, every aspect of our lives. Personally, I'm looking forward to that transformation.
Wow, Diane. Thank you so much.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Wonderful. Now, from our lifestyle desk, we have a report from Suzette, reporter Suzette.
Thank you, Dana. A rescue rabbit has joined the police force in California. Meet Percy, a ginger and white colored bunny who is just the cutest cop ever. Percy actually plays a vital role for the Yuba City Police Department. Percy serves as a wellness officer in the agency's wellness program. Percy is there to offer support for whoever needs it, according to the National Institute of Health. Interacting with animals can both benefit your mental and physical health. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, what a cute cop, Percy. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Suzette.
And now it's back to Dana for her story about an interesting cave.
We're going to pause on that story, David, right now and go to a commercial break.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Michael St. Michaels. I'm an actor, and our job is to make you believe that it's real. Now, I drink greasy coffee, and I think it's really good. Maybe you should try some and see if you like it also. Or am I just acting?
Love it. Thank
Right.
you. Okay. Over to you. You ready? You ready for your
For my report, yes. My perspective was really shifted this week. I don't know if I've found my footing again yet. I received a story about a two-story home that is located between the towns of Greencastle and Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. And this two-story house houses a cave. A cave, Dave. That's right. It was discovered in the 1830s, but how the cave was found is unclear. And it's been known in the area. People have occasionally gone and climbed down into the cave at times. The land was leased approximately 100 years later, and a small structure was built over the cave opening. and they made it into a tourist attraction. The small structure has changed into a 2-story house over the years. And the house and the cave were closed in 1954 after the land was purchased and there was limestone mining. And it remained closed for almost 70 years. And then it was purchased by a woman named Dara Black. And in 2021, it was reopened as a tourist attraction. And she currently resides in the home. And you can book a tour and just pay what you want to pay. It's just a donation. You want to make sure and go with the scheduled tours when they are open house. And there are snacks and drinks available in the waiting area. You can talk with people. The cave is 3,000 feet of passageways, and it takes about 45 minutes to walk it. They hold cave yoga once a month, and bring your own flashlight. There are no lights in the cave.
Whoa, no lights in the cave. Oh my goodness.
To have a house, with access to underground and to that cave, don't you think?
Yeah, I grew up in Mark Twain country in Missouri, where there were lots of caves. Let me tell you, when you go down to a cave and it's dark, it's the darkest place you've ever been, because you cannot see your hand in front of your face. It's that dark. Whoa, I won't be going on that tour. Sorry. But it sounds
I mean,
cool.
can you imagine living in that house?
No.
It really is a
Yeah.
challenge to your perspective a little
Kind
bit.
of gives me nightmares to think of what could be coming out of the cave too. Oh
I
man.
think it'd be a great place to build a dungeon.
Yeah. Well, who knows? The 19th century. Yeah.
Michael will be filming a movie there next.
Yeah. Well, that's quite a story, Dana, I have to say. All right, now let's check in with our very own Michael. He is the bad boy of stand-up news, but his bark is worse than his bite. And I'm betting he has a nice upbeat story for us. Do you, Michael?
I certainly do.
Oh, wonderful.
I found that these researchers at Berkeley are studying worms, and they found we share a trait with worms, or a behavior. Apparently, worms, like us, get the munchies when we smoke marijuana. They got a group of worms from a pot farm in Northern California to study. And they found that along with being lethargic, they didn't do much except eat constantly. Anyway, so next time you see a worm, pass that joint.
So I have this image of that worm smoking a joint, but you must mean he ate the marijuana, right? The worms.
Probably, yeah.
Probably, right.
But,
Although you could probably rig up some kind of a system exposing worms to marijuana smoke, but
it would be eating the roots, because the worms are underground and they,
yeah.
eat, and that's how we get our topsoil.
That's right, they do.
And if we get that topsoil, we could probably smoke that too.
Great, love it. What a surprise, huh?
Well, Dave, for our entertainment section tonight, we present a staged reading from a scene from the play The Dresser. A staged reading is a rehearsed read-through of a script performed in front of an audience. Actors are not off book for a staged reading. Tonight, in the role of Her Ladyship, is Suzette Stiles. And in the role of Norman, we present Sean Orion.
He does nothing but cry.
Are they keeping him in?
They wouldn't let me stay. The doctor says I seem to make matters worse.
I shouldn't have taken him to the hospital. I don't know what came over me. I should have brought him back here, where he belongs.
Why is his coat on the floor? Why? And his hat.
Drying out. They're wet through sudden, if you don't mind my saying so. So was he, drenched, sweat and drizzle.
Well, how did he come to be in such a state, Norman? When you telephoned, I thought at first he had been hurt in an accident, in the air raid,
No,
or had an accident.
no, not an accident.
Well, no, I know, because they said there was no physical injuries on him.
Your ladyship,
He's in a state of collapse.
I know.
Well, how did he get like that?
Your ladyship,
What happened to him?
sit down, please. Please sit down. We have to remain calm, not to say clear-headed.
Oh, the doctor said it must have been coming on for weeks.
If not longer.
I didn't see him this morning. He left the digs before I woke up. Well, where was he all day? Where did you find him?
What happened was this, your ladyship. After the last all clear sounded, I went into Market Square as dusk was coming on. A peculiar light, ever so yellowish, smoke and dust rising from the bomb craters, running shadows full of the unexpected. I had hoped to find a packet or two of Brown and Paulson's cornflour, since our supplies are rather low and the stuff scarce and you never know. So I was asking at his stall, and that when I heard his voice.
His voice.
Sirs, of course. I turned and saw him by the candle maker who was shutting up shop for the night. He was lit by one tall tallow candle, which was guttering, and he looked like that painting of him as Lear. All greens and dark blue seen through the peculiar light. He was taking off his overcoat in this weather. God help the man who stops me, he shouted, and throw the coat to the ground, just like Lear in the storm scene. Look at it. I don't know if I'll ever get it clean. And he was so proud of it. You remember, or perhaps it was before your time, the first Canadian tour, Toronto, raglan sleeves, fur color, and now look at it.
Well, what happened after he took off the coat?
Started on the head, during Piccadilly, only a year ago, down on the coat, it went, and he jumped on it, stamped on his head, viciously stamped on his head. You can see he lifted both hands as he does to convey sterility into Gunrul's womb and called out, "How much further do you want me to go, His fingers were all of a fidget, undoing his jacket, loosening his collar and tie, tearing at the buttons of his shirt.
Well, were there many people about?
Small crowd. That's why I ran to him. I didn't want him to stand there looking ridiculous with people all over round sneering.
Well, did he see you? Did he know who you were?
I didn't wait to find out. I just took his hand and said, "Good evening, sir. Shouldn't we be going to the theater?" In my best nanny voice, the one I use when he's being wayward. He paid no attention. He was shivering. His whole body seemed to be trembling, and such a trembling.
You shouldn't have let the public see him like that.
It's easy to be wise after the event, if you don't mind my saying so, your ladyship. But I tried to spirit him away. Not easy with a man of his proportions. Only just then a woman approached, quite old, wearing bombazine under a tweed coat, but perfectly respectable. She picked up his clothes and wanted to help him dress. I just stood there amazed, utterly amazed. He said to the woman, "Thank you, my dear, but Norman usually looks after me. I'd be lost without Norman." So I thought to myself, "This is your cue, Ducky," and said, "I'm Norman, I'm his dresser." The woman, she had her hair in curlers, took his hand and kissed it, saying, "You were lovely in the Corsican Brothers." He looked at her a long while, smiled sweetly, you know, the way he does when he's wanting to charm, and said, "Thank you, my dear, but you must excuse me. I have to make an exit," and ran off.
He said, "I have to make an exit."
Well, of course, I went after him, fearing the worst. I didn't know he could run so fast. I just followed a trail of discarded clothing, jacket, waistcoat, and thought, we can't have Sir doing a striptease around the town. But then I found him leaning up against a lamppost, weeping.
Where?
Outside the Cordoma, without a word, hardly knowing what I was doing. I led him to the hospital. The sister didn't recognize him, although later she said she'd seen him as Othello last night. A doctor was summoned, short, bald, spectacled, and I was excluded by the drawing of the screens.
And then you telephoned me.
No, I waited. I lurked, as Edmund says, and heard the doctor whisper, "This man is exhausted. This man is in a state of collapse." Then the sister came out and said, "I must fetch you at once." That's when I telephoned. That's how it happened.
Well, he did nothing but cry.
Yes, you said.
I left him lying on the bed in his clothes, crying. No, weeping. Weeping as though he had lost all control. Wept and wept. Floodgates. What are we to do? In just over an hour, there's going to be an audience in that theater expecting to see him as King Lear. What am I to do?
Don't upset yourself for a start.
I've never had to make a decision like this before. I've never had to make any decision before. As soon as I came out of the hospital, I called Madge and I asked her to meet me here just as soon as possible. She'll know what to do.
Oh yes, Madge will know what to do. She won't upset herself, that's for certain. Madge will be ever so sensible. Or of course, stage managers have to be. I had a friend once, had been a vicar before falling from the pulpit and landing on the stage. Ever so good as an ugly sister. To the manor born, his wife didn't upset easily. Just as well, I suppose. All things considered, Madge reminds me of her. Cold, businesslike, boring.
The doctor took me into a little room littered with bloody bandages and enamel dishes. He apologized. They'd been busy after the air raid, and the smell made me faint. He asked about his behavior in the recent days. Had I noticed anything untoward? I smiled involuntarily. Untoward, what an odd word to use.
What did you say, if you don't mind my asking?
I lied.
Hmm.
I said he'd been perfectly normal. I didn't want to appear to be negligent.
Hmm.
I should have been more vigilant. Only last night I noticed that. Is that Madge?
No, Irene. That was fun, Suzette. I loved it.
Oh, fabulous, dear. I love working with you.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you for entertaining us with that. And we're gonna go to a commercial break now, and that'll provide one more bit of entertainment, because quite often the commercials are at least as entertaining as the program. Think of the Super Bowl. So take it away. Next commercial. My name is David Hopman. I'm an actor. I lie for a living, hoping to make you believe what I'm telling you. Are sex toys for real? Last time I tried one, it was great. Or maybe I was just overacting to make a statement. Only way to know for sure is to try one for yourself. Wahoo sex toys, available at better toy shops throughout the Bay Area. Okay, you ambushed me with that one, but I asked for it and I had it coming.
Was that
Well, that's our show for this week. I'm David.
And I'm Dana. And thank you to all of our news sources for supplying stories to our reporters tonight.
See you next week with more good news, really good news. And remember to be kind.